Okay, guys. I'm sorry if you. I was told Thank you, John. I was told that the video that I posted went till about 18 minutes, and then after that, I was just kind of talking on and on about a document that I was really trying to show you, which was kind of the point of the lecture. So you were not able to see um, the document as I was talking about it. So that's what I want to do today. So I want to pick up where we left off. And so if you go to your slideshow, you're going to see the slide that says, let's do this. And apparently yesterday we didn't do it. I just talked and you were maybe confused. So anyway, at about 18 minutes on the first lecture, you can stop it because the rest probably won't make sense. And now I'm going to pick up exactly where we left off. Okay, so we were talking about matched, well, our CLC project, right? So the matched subjects design. And so I would like you to, first of all, refer to the PowerPoints that I posted, okay? So that was based on a lecture I did last week. And we're gonna use some of that information to apply to actually doing some sort of matching, okay? So a match design of the confounding variables just so that we can kind of account for error, okay? So we're gonna randomize. If you have your worksheet in front of you, the worksheet for the actual CLC project, you know, if you read the instructions, you know, you're given data, you're supposed to match based on the different types of designs. So like precision matching, range matching, rank order matching. So it essentially gives you all these directions to do that. However, the nature of this project is or can be very tedious. So I took out some of the instructions, and I also took out half of the data that you need to match. So in other words, so they gave you, ignore the highlights at the moment, I'll explain all of that, but they gave you, hold on, all, oh, sorry, I guess I don't have all 14, all 40. Anyway, you can see that there's 40, so that's a set of 40 scores, or 40 participants. So I actually just did 20 of them and use those 20 to do what I'm going to do right now, to demonstrate how to the steps on how to do this worksheet and put together matched designs. Okay, so the first thing is they did say something about randomizing data, right? So random table just means we're gonna just randomize everything in a table. They give you the table, and so then they give you a couple ideas or a couple instructions as to how to randomize. So like the first step is just like some instructions for you to begin with a randomized set. So for the first, I divided up into steps. I just think it's easier that way. So anyway, so separate the 40, in this case, it'll be 20 participants listed below into two groups, in which each group has an equal number of men and women. Use random numbers table text. You can look in, text page 537 and 538. You can look in that and you can see that there is a table, and it shows you kind of how it's all supposed to look when said and done. All right. So anyway, what I'm going to do is pretend like my table only consists of 20 participants, which is taken directly from your the 40. And here are the data. So since I have 20, I'm making two groups. I have 20 total participants. So I'm going to divide those, the first, 5 females and the first 5 males for one group. And then the second group is the sorry, the second 5 females, which are in blue, and second 5 males, which are in purple for our second group. And then just because I'm more visual, I highlighted the genders first and then ordered them. So for me, this is what it looks like. And when you do it, you don't have to highlight. You can just, mark it or just, however you want. Anyway, so the first step they said is to put in each group an equal number of men and women. All right. So I did that. So I have 2 groups, group 1 and group 2. And because I only have 20 participants, I gonna have 5 females and 5 males in each group. And so I took the, just looked at the data, the original 40, and I just took the first 20, right? The first 10 females and the first 10 males from that data set. And then that is going to become my data set that you are not going to do. But yeah, so this is the data set I'm using. So you can see how I divided that up. The next step they wanted you to do was, okay, so I did that. I need to go down. So the second step they suggested or they instructed were to put the odd numbers in group 1 and then the even number subjects in group 2. And then one group is filled, the rest go into the other group. All right. So luckily we have an even number of males and females. And in this case, we have also an even number of odds and even, of course. So I looked through the entire, so I'm using this one now. Okay. So I looked through all of this, and then these are divided by males and by gender. I'm now going to take the odds, right? So I'm going to have number 1, I'm going to have rhododendron, I'm going to have Buddy Won't, I'm going to have Carol Off the Bells. So all of those are being placed in the first group, which are the odd numbers. And so you can see that the gender is now kind of randomized. Definitely the other variables, weight and height, have changed. But this particular step, I just put the odds here and I put the evens down here. Okay. Then step 3, separate the participants into 2 groups by using range matching by weight. So what happens with range matching is that you have a predetermined score. In this case, the unit is pounds, right? So you might say, okay, I'm going to match as close as I can as far as this particular variable goes. So if I say 5 pounds, then I'm going to do my best to make pairs of participants that are within 5 pounds of each other. I may not be able to do that with everyone, but that's my goal, is to get literally matched pairs, so pairs that are matched by weight as closely as possible, specifically within 5 pounds. And that is range matching. Okay. So what does it look like? So I'm taking the second table that I made, the odds and evens, and I'm going to shuffle those around. So I'm looking at weight now. And in this case, I just went through the entire group, not divided by groups, but the entire N of the sample, and I ordered it. Sorry, I guess it is kind of ordered, but I found the numbers that were as close as possible. Okay. So you can see 95, 100, 108. So you could say like this is a pair, right? 90 to 100. This is a pair, just definitely within 5 of each other, 5 pounds of each other. This is a pair within 5 pounds of each other. This is a pair within 5 pounds of each other. And this is a pair. They happen to be 10 pounds, but that's the best I could do. And I did the same for group 2. Now, you can do this a little bit differently. I actually might suggest that you do. I would suggest that you do, in that you, for the first group, okay, you're gonna, let's see. Actually, you know what? I take that back. For the, never mind. So the only, yeah, I think the best way to do it actually is by weight, or is by the matched pairs. But one point is that you don't have to do it in order, right? You can actually say, okay, you know, what's, let's do like 200 pounds. Let's see what's closest to 200 pounds. So you could mix it around that way. All right, so you can see that this isn't quite as mixed as it could be. So, you know, it's up to you. But the point is that we want to get variability in all of these columns. And in order to do that, what we're doing is just shuffling them around as randomly as possible. And you can see that, you know, the numbers are different based on what how we randomized everything. Okay. You know, I don't know if you can see my mouse. I'm going to go ahead and quickly grab, I don't know if this is going to work, grab a little, okay. I'm going to grab one of these just so I can kind of show you. Okay. So that was the third step. All right. So the fourth step is match as many pairs of female participants as possible. Find a match and randomly assign one in the first group and the other to the second group. Then do the same for the male participant. So I didn't show you kind of the first half of this, but what it's saying is essentially just, so based on here, you're going to literally take this group as they are, and you're going to just match on gender. So, so one group would be like female, so match the female. So like maybe it would be easier if I did like this, oops, this, you know, just so you could see the pairs. That might help. You can do that. So the first pair is actually but a female, so that we can keep that. The next pair is also female, we'll keep that. But unfortunately, Howie is a male. And so we're gonna have to put Clara with like Allison. Okay, so we're gonna make a few new pairs. And then we're gonna do the same for males at the bottom. So take all the males up here and put them down here. And then we're gonna make a male group. Okay, so I didn't write that down what it looks like. I didn't use that because the next step was to randomly assign. I shouldn't say randomly assign at this point. Take the, I don't know, second one in each pair and move it down here. Okay, so let's see. So randomly assign one to the first group and the other to the second group. So we're gonna take her, keep that here, move her partner down to here. Okay, take Pete, keep him there, move his partner down to here. Okay, so, you know, I skipped that step, and I'm sorry, I skipped that part of the step purposely because I wanted to show you the end of it. So this was the outcome of it. So next, do the same for the male participants. So I showed you the actual matching part. So we have two females, and then one female is going to go in this group, one's going to go in this group. Let's go to the next set, or the next pair of females. This female is going to go group one, this female is going to go to step 2 or group 2. So now we have it shuffled again. And again, it's going to be by gender, but we're going to divide it up. So step 5, we're going to take the participants, we're going to match them on gender, weight, and height using rank ordered matching. That's what it says in your assignment. So what I'm going to do though, I'm going to order the first group separately from the second group because men are typically taller than women. So that would be sort of less randomized. So what I mean by that is that I'm going to rank order. I'm going to rank order just by height. All right. I can't. So rank order just by height within this group, and then rank order just by height within this group. So instead of rank ordering all the way down, I'm going to just rank order within each group. And so there's my rank order, and I have, yes, I have completed the table. Okay, so if you're comparing this with the actual assignment instructions, there's lots of overlap, but I divided it up so it's a little more user-friendly and, you know, going in steps, even if I had to break down the steps that were shown in, that were instructed in the assignment. My goal is just to make this a little more user-friendly. All right, so notice one more thing you might notice is that I could have matched the weight. So, you know, I could have rank ordered, I could have done a range matching, but I could do all of this stuff over and do it for this variable. You know, the more combinations you do, the more shuffling you do, the more likely it is that you're going to have a random sample and be able to control for confounding variables in your study. That said, I don't think it's necessary for you to have to go through all of the steps, all of the variables. What I have for you to do is definitely sufficient for you to just understand the concept of match design, how to randomize these confounding variables in order to control for the amount of error between subjects, between treatment groups. So here are your data, okay? For 20 participants, just like I had up here. These are the people that I didn't use. So, you know, your first step is going to organize them into 2 groups, 5 men and 5 women in each group. So same thing as up here. Okay. So you might be asking yourself, so what exactly do you have to show? So what I want you to show is all of this, except you do not, I mean, you can because you're copying and pasting probably, but you don't have to use the names. I'm really just interested in the values and in the data, and to see how you can mix and match the data. In the real research situation, you're not going to actually see names. I know this is just for teaching purpose. So it's up to you. All I did was copy and paste here, and that's what, you know, it was easier that way. The name stayed. One thing also that I mentioned in the last video was using Excel. So especially when you're rank ordering. So if you feel confident with Excel, you can, you know, just put in all this data and then, you know, rank order or order things in different ways. So that's something also that you can use that might save you a little bit of time. Okay, so, yep. So here's your people. And try to follow the steps as much as you can that I gave you. Of course, if you have questions, you can always email me or post. I'll be present. I'll make sure that I'll look for your posts and get back to you as quickly as possible. And like I said, I said last on the earlier lecture, I mentioned having a Zoom meeting or several Zoom meetings in order to help you with, assignments if you need it, but especially to help you with your research projects, because I know that those are starting to be pressing. I know that probably the majority of you from who I've helped, the majority of you are pretty far, at least into your methodology. And, I'd like to see how far you are and individually and, give you some suggestions on how to move forward and what that should look like. Okay. So we'll be doing a little bit more of that. We still have lots of like assignments and things that are going to be due. My goal is to give you some short lectures on the information that you need to know. And I don't know, we can play it by ear. If you need help individually on the assignments, it's fine. Maybe we can get into a Zoom meeting, an open Zoom meeting. So anyway, that's kind of what I'd like to do from this point on, because it's going to get a little crazy. All right, so if I haven't assigned CLC groups, I'm going to go do that right now. You don't need to listen past 18 minutes on the first one that the first slide show. This is the second part to that, with the screen and with the what you need to know, and make sure that you watch this, especially watch this one. So watch both, but this one is the how-to. Any questions? Okay, I'll post this again so you can have it in front of you and maybe take notes while you watch this video. Okay, so thanks a lot, and I will be seeing you soon. All right, have a good day.